All right. Hello, and welcome. This is season two, episode one of Tbreak's OneShot podcast. We took a little break during the summer. I am back here with my colleagues Sam, Mufaddal, and Abbas. Gents, how are we?
All
All good,
good.
all good.
How's it all going?
All good, all good. It looks like taking a summer break is not a good thing anymore in the tech world. We've got phones and we've got processors and oh my God, just it's endless. Sam had a car for review. We had, what was it, Sam? The Lexus
UX 300. Very nice
UX
car. Thoroughly
300.
enjoyed it.
Fair.
So,
So yeah, we've got that video up on YouTube, so don't forget to check it out. For those of you who don't know, this is Tbreak. We talk about everything from movies and gaming to tech and laptops and AI and just basically anything that's generically fun. We end up having a conversation about it. If this is your first time here, the podcast is available on Podbean or any other platform that you get your podcasts on. And I want to start with Abbas. Abbas, did you end up watching the Pixel launch?
I didn't because it was in the middle of my holiday, but I did manage to get some hands on with it. So
Okay.
I did read up about it. And then before that, well, I read up on it and then I went and checked out the devices at a store, which were on display.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, interesting release from Google. Generally, they just release two phones when they do this
Right.
Pro launch, which is the regular one and the Pro, and the regular one is smaller and the Pro is larger. This
Okay.
time they doubled it. There's like four different phones that were released, and let's
Okay.
kind of go through them real quickly. So all four of them have the Tensor G4 chipset, and the verdict is out on that. We don't know how that's going to be until it lands in the hands of more people. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that a little later. The
Okay.
Pixel 9 this time has your regular Pixel 9, and then the Pro comes in two sizes. So what they've done is previously the Pro was only available in what is now known as the XL size, but
Right.
they've also released a smaller version of the Pro
Okay.
that
So
feels really good in your hands. Yeah.
just like the iPhone, basically.
Oh, very much so. And it looks and feels very much like the iPhone as well. They've gone with rounded edges and flat sides.
Nice.
It's yeah, literally.
Flat
I think iPhone
screens for
just
the win.
I think we're pretty much done with the curved revolution. Who's left? I think Samsung's also
Motorola
quit. So Motorola, fair enough, and Huawei. So
and Vivo,
yeah, Chinese manufacturers, I guess, a
Chinese
lot of them. So
manufacturers.
they're getting them at a great discount. So why not?
Okay.
stock
So
clearance.
what was the fourth phone?
So the fourth phone was, and this is a mouthful, it's a Pixel 9 Pro Fold.
Okay.
They're foldable, so it's gone from the G2 processor to the G4 processor. They've sort of skipped a
Right.
generation. And then, skipping that has added, I don't know, four different words to the model number because I honestly don't know why couldn't they just call it Pixel Fold? Just Pixel Fold and you're done with that. They, I think,
But
want to sort of compare it to the Pro version of the Pixel,
right.
but I don't know about that either. It doesn't have the same camera setup as the Pro
Okay.
phones, and like I said, the chipset is the same across all of them. So I'm not quite sure what's Pro about it. But
Fair.
again, having said that, it's a nice fold phone.
Pro
Okay.
use.
So pro pro use possibly, yeah. I guess that's
Fair
what they're
enough.
intending at. Okay, so let's
Fair
break
enough.
these down. So the Pixel 9, I'm guessing it's the baby of the family, affordable. Does it have, apart from the G4 chip, does it have any similarities to the big boys?
So the main camera is identical to the Pixel Pro, which is a 50 megapixel camera. So
Okay.
all of them have the same primary camera. Where it is different is that it has the 48 megapixel ultra wide, but the
Right.
Pro also has an additional 48 megapixel for telephoto, which the regular version
Hmm.
lacks on there. That's also slightly different as far as look is concerned, where the back is glossy and the bezels are sort of matte, whereas
Right.
on the Pro side, it's reverse of that. So slight
Understood.
differences on that level, but other than that, it's very much similar to the other one.
Okay. Because I was curious because Webhub, our friend over here, a content creator himself, he got a very early access on the Pixel 9. I don't even know how. He seems to have picked up from the gray market, but he ended up having a bit of an overheating issue. He put up a post on his social media, which I saw yesterday. But basically, the post was that the phone has overheating issues. So he was outdoors. He was checking out the phone, and the phone heated up, but it also affected video quality. And that was
Oof.
really
Interesting.
amazing to me. So apparently, even it's like I'd expect a phone to shut down or maybe for a function not to work. But his video states that basically the phone got so hot that the video quality, which he noticed later in post, dropped down for 4K 30 and 4K 60, which was very surprising to me. It's a very odd way of sort of heat management. I was very, very surprised by that.
Yeah, and also having said that, look, the phone hasn't been officially out, so I'd give it a day or two after it's out for a software update. Generally, most phones nowadays come with a software update within the first week of releasing. So
Right.
I think a better gauge of it would be just wait for a week, let the first software update come in, and then let's figure out where the phone
Fair.
stands.
Fair. Apart from that, let's move on to the Pro and Pro XL. Any difference apart from size, Abbas?
No, not really. Just obviously the size, the screen size, and the battery. Other than that, they're identical phones.
Right.
Having said that, after sort of playing with both, I prefer the smaller version than the larger
Okay.
version. I think it just feels much better in your hand. So I would have gone for the regular Pro, not the Pro XL. Both of them come in 4 different colors, which are black, white, rose, and hazel.
Right.
I only got to see black and white, which I think Google calls obsidian, and I'm not sure what
Yeah.
else they call it.
Obsidian
It's
is
literally
black.
just black.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I just saw those two. But in videos, I think Hazel looks quite nice. I've seen some videos on it, and I think I'd like to play with that in real life. I think that looks quite nice.
Fair. Okay. So coming to kind of what's playing on our screen, and for people who are listening to the podcast, it's basically showing all of Gemini's AI features. Now, there was the whole add me thing in the picture where the person taking the picture can be added into the picture and all that stuff, and the usual editing and stuff like that. I personally didn't think it's anything crazy from the AI perspective that they were kind of pushing out, but I think really useful features, like things that can come in use on the daily.
Mm.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think there's subtle tweaks to AI. I think what's interesting is that all the processing is actually happening on the cloud, not on the device.
Ah.
And that actually might be a good reason why Google didn't choose to do that, because the phone's just running hot shooting regular video. So add some AI on that, and you've got a Galaxy Note 10 in your hand. Sorry.
No, I mean that's fair. That's
Spicy.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not our fault that Samsung made the greatest reference to a smartphone exploding. There's nothing we can do about that. Uh, but fair. Yeah, I mean, nice features. But tell me about the Fold, because I'll be honest with
Hmm.
you, when I first saw this whole naming convention and everyone losing their minds, I was like, okay, so they want you to know that it's part of the 9 series, it's part of the Pro bit, and it's a Fold. So 9 Pro Fold. But then you told me that it doesn't have the Pro camera, and you said you happen to mention one more thing, and I was like, okay, that then this is weird. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I think from comparing to specs, it is closer in line with the regular Pixel 9. In fact,
Right.
I think a few things are even lower than that. So
Mm,
hey, it is what it is. Google went with this, fine. What I didn't like about there were two things that are worth mentioning here. So they've decreased the thickness of the phone. It's now 10.5 millimeters, which is nice,
okay.
which feels pretty good in your hands. So that's good. But in that process, what they've done is they've made the phone a lot taller than the previous version. Now,
Okay.
the previous version folded out into a very landscape design, which I loved. I thought that was great because everything else is very squarish. I mean, all the
Correct.
other foldable phones you look at, and Google's sort of moved to that squarish format as well. So I think that's just Google accepting defeat that, hey, what they tried didn't work, even though I would have preferred the older aspect ratio, but
Same.
I guess majority
Mm.
wins with this.
Yeah, I love that look that the Oppo Find N Fold N, whatever
Exactly.
that
The first
was.
Oppo.
That was
Absolutely.
phenomenal. As a phone, small in your hand, nimble, and when it opened up, it was
Absolutely.
pure landscape.
No,
So
absolutely,
really,
yes.
really unfortunate. Okay, so at this point, let me get Sam and move on, guys. I mean, you guys have played and experienced foldables quite a bit. where do you guys stand on foldables? Like, where do you think foldables would bring in curiosity for y'all?
I think we discussed it on a previous podcast, which I don't think you were there, but
Danish wasn't on that podcast, so
yeah, we covered it. But I think both myself and Mufir are in agreement. If the iPad Mini, Apple iPad became
Mini,
a
yeah,
foldable, then you might have us hooked.
fair, fair.
Mm.
I was really hoping that y'all would have mentioned size, because, like, as in the thickness and stuff like that, because that would have been a great segue to what I want to talk about next. But Abbas, you have the Samsung Z Fold 6 with you, right?
that's correct.
Okay. And now that phone is just Samsung's arrogance, in my opinion, right? It's like how you just mentioned that Google decided to give up and move to what people are accepting as the size and shape of a fold. I think that this fold that Samsung has given us is just their arrogance in terms of the outer screen, in terms of the thickness, in terms of the fact that the inner screen is more portrait than it is square.
Totally. Let me just show you this real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this. One of them is a Samsung Galaxy phone. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll leave it to you guys to decide which one that is.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
so
wow,
coming to that,
Wow.
so
that is a
coming to that,
difference.
we basically got to see yesterday the Honor Magic V3. All right, now I'm going to show it right now, and I want you guys to react to this for who has not seen it. But Amara, if we can switch over to my screen, thank you. This, first of all, for the people listening, this is a brownish red shade of vegan leather. We've got a gold shiny side, but just look at this phone. Look at how thin it is. Folded, this phone is 9.2 millimeters. This is it in competition with my iPhone. It's it feels almost the same in my hand. Similarly, if you look at it in competition to the Flip 6, which by the way is the same thickness as a Fold, look at this. We're talking about such a difference in look and feel and size. When you open this phone up, it is, Abbas, how much was it? 4 millimeters, 4 point
Something like, yeah, it was 9.2 folded. Was it
9.3
9.4?
folded,
Something
and
along those lines. Yeah,
something in the range of 4.
4.6 or so.
4.35 millimeters
Thank you,
unfolded.
Sam, and God bless you for
There
taking
we go.
notes. But yeah, 4.3 millimeters thin. That is crazy. And it's
That's
only 226 grams. Like it's unbelievable that this is a folding device. Now, unfortunately, we can't discuss anything further about the phone, but look at how nice this is right now. I mean, I I I cannot look at another folding device anymore. Like it has to be this thin, or it just doesn't matter anymore. And I think that that's where I'm losing out with all these current folds when they're coming out, and the Fold 6 doesn't have its flagship cameras. The Pixel, you're saying, doesn't have its flagship cameras.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, you can't be charging these extraordinary amounts and not giving the best you offer.
Mm.
No, I completely agree. I think Chinese manufacturers are way ahead in terms of hardware and design. When it comes to phones in general, I would say, especially Android phones in general.
Mhm.
But yeah, just to give a small comparison, I think what you just put two dirham coins on top of each other, and that's how thick or thin the Honor phone is. It's
Yeah,
just
when it's open. Yeah.
ridiculously thin. Yeah, when it's open, exactly.
But
It's just ridiculously thin.
I mean, sure, the phone is slim, but is it
Mhm.
easy to be held because it's so thin? It feels
It's
like it's
here.
paper.
It is like it is so easy. There is like it's lightweight. It doesn't poke on the hands when you hold it on the side because it's not
Mm.
heavy. It just it feels like, I'll show you this, guys. But like you don't feel anything because nothing is poking at you. It doesn't.
Mm.
It When it opens out, it's just as easy to hold as a regular smartphone. and even better because it's so light. There's no heft. You see what I'm trying to say? But that's exactly the point I'm making, which is that Samsung has made people believe that because they give you a fold, you're supposed to accept sacrifices. What these other companies, like even the Xiaomi Mi Mix Fold 2, 3, whatever, which we don't get over here right now, even that one is just 0.3 millimeters thicker than this. So when you're coming to that size, when you're offering the nice cameras, when you're offering the good screen, and then charging a heft, at least you're justified. Whereas
Yeah.
Samsung, on the other hand, is just at an arrogant place. And I will not lie. There's nothing wrong with the Fold. It is a good phone. It has a stunning display. The S Pen is fantastic to use with it. But you're still charging to what? Almost $1,700 to almost 7,000 dirhams. No, just not happening anymore. But yeah,
Yeah,
that is my one rant for today.
Sorry, I've got just one more small comparison for you guys for the Honor as well. So this is how it is with my iPhone with the cover on it.
Right.
So again, as you can clearly see, the iPhone looks much thicker than that
Yep.
with the cover on it. So yeah, I mean it's ridiculously thin. It's just
It is.
ridiculously thin.
It is. It really is. But yeah, I think that's about it on the smartphone front. Muf, you seem to have had a fun day. What was night yesterday?
Fun night, yeah.
Fun night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
about it.
So
Do we really want to know?
A fun gaming night. Let's just make that clear.
Fun night of gaming. Yeah, so Gamescom happened last night, and we had a big announcements from the showcase. There was the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle got a release date finally. Borderlands 4 got a announcement. Mafia, a new Mafia game, is going to release next year, which is I'm very excited about. Marvel Rivals, which is the Overwatch inspired shooter, that also got a release date for this year. Dying Light has a new standalone game called Dying Light the Beast, which looks great.
Okay.
It feels like a smaller game, but should be great for the fans. Then Peter Molyneux is back, the guy who made Fable and Black and White. He's coming out with a new ambitious God game. And then finally, there is something called Secret Level, which is an anthology series from Prime Video,
Okay.
which will feature 15 episodes from games and series. Like, this comes from the guys who made Love, Death, and Robot on Netflix. So
Right.
So it's the same concept, but with video game franchises.
Fair. Okay, so let's like break each of these down because I'm a bit curious about at least one of them. I guess the others are as well. So like let's start with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this game is made by Machine Games and is going to come out on December 9th for PC and Xbox. It's made by Xbox, but it will also release on the PS5 in spring 2025. The game looks great. It seems very true to the Indiana Jones adventure. It's first person, but it's not a first person shooter. And like using a gun is not very encouraged, and you have to solve puzzles. You have to use your whip. So it seems great. I'm very, very excited for it. Indiana Jones is one of my favorite characters. So now they're making like a proper modern game for it. So very, very excited about that. Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good. It looks a bit it looks a bit janky to me, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll play great.
I remember playing the old Indiana Jones, the ones that were like side-scrolling adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, this being a first person probably means that I won't be able to play it.
Yeah, and the game goes from first person to third person, but there will be more first person parts. So I guess it's not for you, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like it. Muffy, what are your thoughts on this not being an Xbox exclusive? You mentioned that PS5 is coming out in early next year.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Microsoft should have kept it Xbox exclusive, or no? You think it's fine to have a PS5 version of it as well?
Uh, I really don't know because uh, Indiana Jones is not a big franchise in terms of gaming to keep it e- exclusive. But then again, Xbox is struggling to release their exclusive games. There's no immediate value to own an Xbox, and that shows in the sales of the console, right? So if they keep on making great games like these, and then not make it exclusive, then what's the reason to own the Xbox? You know, uh,
So
so I don't know
basically, you're
what's.
saying that it's a good game, but it's not something that will sell Xboxes.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones is not a system seller. I don't think it
Mm.
will be that big in terms of sales to actually be like a Starfield like exclusive.
Gotcha.
Uh, but yeah, I'm not sure what Xbox is thinking. Uh, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Let's move on to
All right.
Borderlands next.
Yeah, Borderlands got a surprise announcement. I guess it's not a huge surprise because we kind of knew that they were making one, but it got a teaser. The teaser looks great and looks better than the movie itself. So,
The
which
movie
was
bombed, didn't it?
the movie bombed. Yeah, completely. It's releasing on digital on August 30th, if I'm not wrong. So it came out in the theaters for like a week, went away, and now it's out on.
Oof.
That
That's
is
just
like that is certified
Yeah,
disaster.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I'm surprised because Kate Blanchett was in it, and she's generally pretty good. So I would have thought that just based on her, I would have thought the movie would be good. But I guess I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, actors don't really end up giving you like it's not like just because there's a good actor, the movie might be good. Like I don't think those days exist anymore.
Mm,
I
yeah.
don't know. I think I'll argue with you on that because she's done her time. She's in a place where she can afford to choose projects. So if she comes across a script that she generally doesn't think is great, I wouldn't pass behind. I don't think that she would do it. So just my opinion on that.
That's the thing about this movie, right? It has a great cast: Jack Black, Kevin Hart, then Kate Blanchett. Like, what made them do this movie? Because the movie itself is so bad. Like the scripting is bad, the direction is bad, the VFX is bad. So I don't know what caused these big stars to come in as like, hey, we'll do this movie. It's baffling
Because
to me. Like,
I think what happens a lot of the times in such movies is that the pitch is really really good, and as producer Amara says, money. That means that when the discussion, don't forget, right? Discussions for such movies start like a year and a half, 2 years before they even shot. And at that point,
Yeah.
it's a pitch and it's an idea, and oh, the world is all about gaming, and oh, Last of Us, look at the success. And it starts on that basis. And especially when you look at the game, you're like, oh, that this game exists and it's a popular game, and we could make, I don't know, 4 movies thanks to the fact that there are 4 versions of the game and so on and so forth. And then the director comes in, and maybe the director doesn't have a history with the game, or the editing is miserable, which, funny enough, editing is something I've noticed that a lot of these games or anything with a historical basis, editing is where it really loses out, because I think they edit it
Yeah.
like a movie, which you can't do when the basis is a game, because sometimes they leave in like, I'll tell what was that thing, the game thing you guys made me watch, Fallout, the Amazon
yeah,
show,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
follow.
Yeah, like
That was
there were
crazy good.
parts that it was really good. It really was. But there were parts where I'm like, I know I'm watching a game-based movie. I don't need 8-minute emotional scenes. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like,
Fair
I'm
enough.
just saying that I think that ends up playing a massive role, and people are still figuring out how to make games movies, because clearly there's money here, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
there's like an endless index of games that they can make into movies. Like, so like Angry Birds, they had movies and shows and
Mhm.
whatnot for a while. They made money as
Yep.
long as they could. So
Yep.
yeah, I think there's a future here. I think it's just about sort of mastering
Yeah.
who and the who's and what's of this genre.
I think
Yeah.
their last, no, I think their last hope was that they figured it's releasing same weekend as it ends with us, and they're like, how bad can it be? Let's just go ahead and do it. People have 2 movies to watch. Hopefully, they'll see Borderlands.
That's true. 2 really high expectation movies, 2 really bad ones. But cool. Moving on. Sorry, coming back to gaming. Marvel Rivals. Tell us about this, Smurf.
So Marvel Rivals is made by NetEase, which is a Chinese company. I think they were working on an Overwatch mobile game which didn't work out, and
Okay.
then this came along, which looks exactly like o- o- Overwatch in terms of visual style, map design, game modes. It is exactly like Overwatch, but this one is 6 versus 6 and has Marvel characters. So it has Spider-Man, Hulk, Loki, Black Panther.
Of course.
So
Wait,
it's
no,
Interesting.
it's
uh,
yeah.
sorry, did you just say that the Chinese copied something?
I was just going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. I was just going to say that it is unbelievable. It's almost to a point where I respect them that we talk smartphones, we talk cars, we talk everything. And when you say the word Chinese, it filters down to the same point. And like, yeah, man, like it's the same formula, right? They take a phone, they put the
Exactly.
Marvel thing on it, they make it a Harry Potter partnership, something, and done. And here they're doing the
Voila.
same thing with games. I love it. I love it. Fair.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I was just saying, like, I think they may not have copied it on purpose, but they were working on an Overwatch game with Blizzard that didn't work out. So felt like,
Ah,
let's just take this and put it in Marvel Rivals.
To
It
spin
might be
it.
right.
the case. Yeah, it's, but if you watch the gameplay, if you take out the characters from the gameplay and just do like a camera zoom, it
Mhm.
looks Overwatch.
Right.
1:1. The first time I saw the game's trailer and it was just like a sky view of the map, I was like, Overwatch? Then it was like Marvel characters. Like, what's happening?
I wonder if
Uh,
it'll be as salty. That's the critical
huh?
question. I wonder if it'll be as
Salty?
salty. I've never played a
Ah,
game so much where I've had people tell me how to play a game as Overwatch.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
up
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What is salty?
It's a term of like negative as thing to when you're playing a game. Like, you play a game and you play a game however you play it, whether there's a
Okay.
multiplayer aspect or whatever. But specifically with Overwatch, you'll have a lot of people telling you, no, you shouldn't play this character, you should play
Right.
that character, or you're not
So like
playing the
it's a
character right.
salty experience.
It's a salty experience.
Okay, noted. That kind of stuff. I just thought it was like some short form in the gaming world. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I was speaking.
SALTY.
I was speaking to someone recently, and I sent them one of my videos, and it's a person who's much younger. And I was like, "What do you think of this video?" And the person replies, "W." And I was like, "I'm sorry." And he's like,
Big
"W." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And it's like,
Win.
"Win." And I was like, "What does that mean? Do you like the video or not? Just tell me." So yeah, so my age is starting to show. Producer Amara messages on the side saying, "I learned what CVT is, Daan. You can handle some gaming jargon. That is true. That is true because in our
What is
Nexus
CVT?
video, oh shit,
The car thing.
the car thing, engine thing. Wait, I know this. Something variable transmission. Car variable transmission. Clutch. Where no. C.
Combustion?
Wow.
No. Come on, Sam. Tell us.
Continuous.
Control.
Continuous.
Continuous. No, continuous.
Constant
ChatGPT. What
variable
is CVT?
transmission.
Constant.
Constant.
Okay, there. Finally, okay. At least we got a smile out of Sam in this one podcast. But fair. Okay, let's quickly wrap up the last three of them. Tell me about Dying Light, the Beast.
Yeah, Dying Light the Beast seems like a standalone for the Dying Light series. It's a zombie open world game where you have to hide in the dark and be aware. No, wait, you have to go out in the morning and not in the night, because in the night the zombies come out. Something like this. I've not played the series, but it's very famous. And this one seems like a standalone, smaller game, 20 hours of gameplay, and looks rather nice.
Okay, okay. Cool. Then what do we have? What's the next one you mentioned? Masters of Albion.
Yes, Masters of Albion. This is a game from Peter Molyneux. He's back finally after doing his stint in mobile gaming. He's the creator
Okay.
of Fable. He's the creator of Fable and
Okay.
Black and White.
Cool.
Two great games, two iconic games. Then after that, he completely lost his way. He started to lie in press interviews about features that would never make into the game, and he would just boast and lie through his teeth, and then his stardom fell completely. He left Lionhead Studios, which made Fable. Then he started to make mobile games. Now he has come back to making additional PC games. And
Okay.
Masters of Albion is okay. So first of all, the name of the game is very smart, because Albion is the universe of Fable, but this
Okay.
game is not associated with Fable at all.
Right.
But he
Okay.
did that. But he did that call back to the game that he made, like in a smart way, to just
Hmm.
coast on the lines of but yeah, this game is pitched as a city building god game, but which is also third person RPG. Now again, these are two different genres, and it's very eh, ambitious, but I don't believe a word uh, uh, out of his mouth. So
Yeah.
so we will
So
we will see the game, we'll know what it is, and then I'll be like, because he was my favorite developer. He made Fable and Black and White. Black and White was so good. Then he just completely lost his way. Whatever. We'll see when the game releases. And then
Damn.
finally we have
Oh, no, wait,
secret
wait.
levels.
Move.
Oh, okay.
There's some heartbreak there. There's some genuine heartbreak, my friend. Are you
I
okay?
can't. I can't.
The pain. My God, this was a podcast on gaming. The heartbreak, move.
Yeah, man.
Muff, I have a couple of questions for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fable, from what I remember, was a Xbox exclusive, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So is
Yeah.
this also going to be an Xbox exclusive or no? You haven't said anything.
No, he hasn't said it. He's not working for Xbox. He's
Gotcha.
making the game on his own. So it seems like a PC only game, but it might be on
Okay.
consoles.
And the second question is, his games generally get delayed quite a bit. How old is he?
How old is he?
Yeah. Will he
Are
be able to
you
complete the game before
insinuating
he?
something?
Oh shit! Wow. I don't think he's
His
that
games
old.
take
He's
forever, don't they?
65 years old.
65.
Okay. So
He's
add
almost-
another 10 years with this game releasing 75. Okay.
He's
I mean, I'm just wondering if he's going to
65
pull a
years
George
old?
R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
Remember
George
George
R. R. Martin.
Martin
I think
says, yeah,
this
he's gonna get
conversation
to
of
it.
age with these people, George R. R. Martin, I think just scarred everyone. Like everyone just like that hope in these people. I don't know what they get paid for, or I think it's this, that they get some sort of remuneration from somewhere, so they just like coast through, like, we'll write, we won't write, we'll make a game, we won't make a game, doesn't matter. But fair.
Let's just say I won't be holding my breath for this one.
yeah, me neither.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Then last and final, before we wrap up, you said that Gamescom had a show or a movie or something?
Yeah, it's called Secret Level. It's made by the guys who made Love, Death, and Robot
Okay.
from Netflix. So take the same concept, but instead of making stories about random stuff, they're making stories based on games and series. So
Ah,
so it will have
Interesting.
15 e- episodes, and the games that will be featured in those include like God of War, Sifu, Warhammer, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Unreal Tournament for some reason. So
okay.
yeah,
Sure.
this looks great because I kind of want to know what was the pitch like, because the pitch must be insane for all these uh, publishers to go like, yeah, sure, you can take
Yeah.
our IP and make random things.
But
So
but
yeah.
this is what comes back to the earlier point I made, right? You can
Hmm.
see this conversation swirling in the,
Hmm.
I'm just going to say Hollywood, but you know what I mean, right? it's
Yeah.
it's it's this conversation swirling, and everyone's trying to jump on this bandwagon because it's one
Mm.
of those things of it just is rewarding on all fronts, you know. Either you're just going to get someone who watches the show and yay, that's awesome, or you're going to get someone who watches the show, pays for that subscription service, and possibly buys the game. And in a
Hmm.
future where these games are going to, not are, but I guess possibly could be streaming games, you know, that because that future is still floating around. So I think it's just these long-term plans just working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well
Yeah,
put.
very much so.
Yeah, fair, fair, fair. All right, cool. Then wrapping up episode 1 of season 2 of One Shot. That's a lot to say. I need to figure out how to space this out properly. But fair. If you're listening to us, don't forget to follow along. If you are watching us on YouTube on tbreak.com, don't forget to follow and subscribe, interact with the video. Let us know your thoughts. My name is Danesh. I'm joined by Abbas, Muf, and non-smiling Sam. So,
Mm.
What was
so
that video game? Serious Sam, right? Serious Sam?
Yeah.
That was an
Seriously.
epic game. That was epic.
fair. We'll just call you Serious Sam for the podcast. Then how's that?
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
done deal. Then at least Amara won't be messaging you on the side saying, "Sam, smile." Fair enough.
That was pretty
Thank you very much for listening, watching, and we will see you at the next one.